Hello and welcome to the second match of my climb from the Bronze League. Today's matchup is a Zerg vs Zerg against myself and a player named GeTrEaL. So let's see how the match progresses. Now I took some advice from a fellow redditor on the StarCraft subreddit and decided to concentrate my army building strategies more, working some more harass and faster expand, as well as a lot more workers, because it was pointed out to me that in my first match I was really not working the economy as much as I could have to more usefully I guess make use of my time. And one thing that I was really told to make note of is to make sure that I have overlords building whenever I get even close to the supply cap. One thing I noticed about this game is GeTrEaL decided to send in a drone right off the bat to scout me, trying to figure out what I was doing, and he built on my Vespene Geyser, and I sent a drone over to try and kill it, but couldn't get it quick enough. As you can see, bastard. We both dropped spawning pool around the same time. He got it a little earlier, and so was getting his queen sooner, but we're pretty close, a couple of seconds off. His Zerglings are around 5 seconds ahead of mine, maybe a little less. But he gets them out and he's running them down. He doesn't really seem to be focusing on much right now besides getting out a largest number of Zerglings, getting map control early, whereas I send my first ones to take out this extractor so that I can build my base in peace. So I sent out 4 Zerglings to try and take the Donagon watchtower and drop the metabolic boost, as I really hate standard Zerglings. They're so slow. Don't know why he's keeping his Zerglings up here, but I suppose there's a method to every madness. I managed to get in my lings, do some harassing before his queen and new Zerglings take me out. And so there's a big pause here where he's not mining, which comes out to my advantage, because as you can see, I start teching up, going ahead to the lair from the hatchery, build a lot more Zerglings to replace the ones I lost. And one of the things that I personally like to do is always have a map sight, so I always know what's going on. And one of the things that was suggested to me is to place a decent sized army right outside his base, so I can try and keep him from expanding outwards without me knowing it. Now I've got speedlings, so that should help. However, yep, he does have speedlings as well, and he is unaware I am there until just now, and it's just trying to run out, but my Zerglings intercept, take out a decent number while I build some more here. I get my Roach Warren down first, and he's just now teching up, and his Zerglings rush in. I've got to assume this is a misclick, because as you can see, he just sort of shoots off to the side, completely ignores all my drones, and I actually send them back to mine, and then push out with my creep and my Zerglings, and drop a first Roach, which he has not yet. I don't really know what he's planning to do with the Roach Warren, or what he did plan, because as far as I can recall, I never actually fought any roaches at all, so it was kind of a waste of resources, I guess. Yeah, and one thing I've liked to do recently is spread creep everywhere that I'm trying to go, because as I mentioned earlier, I really hate slow units, and like queens, for example, move so slowly when they're not in the creep that it's almost essential if you need to move them at all. So yeah, he's doing the same thing with the creep tumor. He's trying to lay down some purple. He finally drops a hatchery, whereas I've got mine up and running with a queen built and everything, and pumping out larvae. Drop. I often will forget to do the spawn larva, but when I do remember, I remember for all my bases, so that's I guess one good thing. Massing my army here, sending in a Zergling to do some scouting. I'm actually microing that to try and keep it alive and see as much as I can. So that worked out decent, I guess. As you can see, it distracts a around like 5 or 6 Zerglings each time. I can run all through here, see what's happening. I see this infestation pit, wondering what he's planning to do with that, as in my experience, I've never seen infestors used against me outside of a custom game such as Desert Strike, but I guess they can be pretty effective with their infested Terran, and especially their neuroparasite, as that can be extremely aggravating if they grab a siege tank, for example. I keep pumping out roaches and Zerglings with whatever spare resources I have, trying to make sure I have a decent army, because one thing I'm always afraid of when I'm playing is committing too early when I don't have a good enough army, I don't have enough upgrades, and I'm just not strong enough to overcome him. As you can see, I'm still building drones, and so I just lose everything in that initial push, and then he will maybe have like 3 roaches or a mutalisk left, and I won't have anything to fight it back, and he just runs me over. One thing I really tried to keep an eye on this game was the amount of supply I was using, because I really wanted to never run out, and that's always a bad feeling when I'm playing. I decided a bit earlier to build an Overseer in case he decided to come in with burrowed roaches, because I knew he had the roach warren. I hadn't seen any yet. I had to assume that he was hiding them to sneak attack in my base. So I built an Overseer, forgot about it, went off to the side. These infestors just look like they're hanging out. And my army is here. Decent number of roaches now. 20 and then 26 Zerglings. A couple of mutas. I teched up to Aspire to do some harassing. That was suggested to me as well on the Reddit post I made. And as you can see, I'm starting to run out of minerals. Both geysers down, 2 more down here, because I was really hurting for gas this match. Because I went mutas and roaches, and they're both, for Zerg at least, fairly high gas, low mineral units comparative to like Zerglings or something, Banelings. And I send in another scout. This one doesn't do so well because, well, he's got all those Zerglings right there. And I missed it earlier, but I sent in some mutas to harass around here, and so I built some corruptors. That's why they're there. And right now he's trying to lay down some infested Terran, build a quick army behind me where I'm not expecting it. But I noticed it pretty quickly thanks to the alerts. And actually, I pretty much just 8-click everything, destroys everything, and I don't know where they're coming from. I think I've never actually used infestors, so I'm not entirely certain how they work. So I thought maybe they're cloaked or long range or something. Roaches tear through the lings, corruptors take out the mutas. Then I think, what if they're actually like burrowed or something? And in the next like 30 seconds, I bring over my Overseer, and that's just about the end of the game, because he realizes that I've got all of these roaches just sort of hanging out outside of his base. My Overseer can see those, and that's it. So a quick game. I like to think it was played well on both sides. I mean, he gave me a challenge a couple of times when I thought I was on the ropes and I was done. But in the end, even though he, as you can see, his economy was better. He was harvesting more minerals. I had more harvesters, but that's mostly because I just killed all of his. But his economy was better than mine, but I managed to get the right units at the right time to combat what he had. So I guess it ended out well for me in the end. Let's go to the graphs. And here's the breakdown of that match. As you can see, I topped him in resources, unit structures, etc. It looks like he had a better economy than I did. He was actually favored, as you can see up there. On the graphs, we were pretty equal for a while, but then I took ahead. I think that's right around when I switched to making roaches. His resource collection rate was below mine for a while, but it looks like towards the end of the match it went above. So, thank you for watching, and tune in next time.